Well, first up on the form, we've got Stephen Marsh joining us. A very warm welcome, Stephen. Great to have you with us and looking forward to a big day at Matamata on Saturday.
Yeah, thanks, Emily. It's nice to be back. Haven't joined you for a while.
No, exactly right. And I've upgraded my home office to the studio. Just wanted to have a chat through your runners whilst we've got you. We'll kick things off with race number 3, Saracen. Thought it was a good effort fighting on game lead there at Wellington. What did you make of that run?
Really liked that run. He sort of just he got caught sort of on the outside, out on his own. You can just see he got a little bit lost, a little bit green. And sort of the winner is smart. They came home in about 32. So I mean, his final 600 was good. He never gave it away. I think he's a pretty high class sort of colt. As I say, there was some couple of pretty tidy ones in front of him, and I think he's bounces right back to it here. He's a horse we really like, and yeah, I thought that run was really nice.
He seems like the type of colt that's still sort of putting it all together. Is that a fair assessment?
Very much so. Yeah, he's a big, strong colt. He's still just a bit of a boy, really. But you know, sometimes when they're down that straight 6 and they're caught out on a limb like that, they do get very lost. I was still pleased the way he sort of knuckled down to his task. And you know, when the leaders are running home in 32, it's very hard to sort of get up and beat them like that. But you know, he'll come in a couple with barriers, I would say, with a couple on the ballot that have drawn out a bit wider. So he'll put himself there, and he should be very hard to beat.
If we move along to race number 4, that's of course the Matamata Slipper, and you got a couple in this one. Angelus is an interesting one, just the one start, but that turned out to be a pretty good form line when you look back.
Absolutely. Look, he's a lovely colt, this. Just so laid back. He would have as good a temperament, very nice athletic horse, obviously by old man Zor. Drawn beautifully. His trial was terrific at Te Rapa. And you know, it was only over 850. He wasn't asked to do a lot, and he's just improved so much out of it. He's racing. He's just going better than he was even before his Group 2 assignment. And yeah, I really do rate his chances. It might not be a big field, but you know, I think there's a couple of nice ones in it. But I think he's pretty high class.
And that draw, Stephen, that sort of gives you a few options, really, doesn't it? Where would you like to be in running?
Just wherever he's happy. We wouldn't bustle him too much out of the gates. Just ride him where he's happy. He'll just land somewhere there, and yeah, he doesn't sort of overdo it, over race. I'd love to see him probably just sitting about 3rd would be nice.
And then obviously you've got Night Raider in the same race on debut. What can punters expect with this one? Yeah,
we sort of thought he'd win his last trial. He's just sort of floated around a little bit, and you know, didn't really knuckle down. We've got the blinkers on him. And his work's been good. His last couple of gallops have actually been really good. He just lacks a little bit of concentration. He was actually meant to race today at Wanganui, but I just couldn't think of really what was going to be in this race. It ended up with 6 nominations and now 8. But yeah, I thought he deserved a, you know, instead of going on an overnight trip, half an hour down the road for a listed race, he'll put himself there from the good draw, and who knows? But his last couple of gallops have been big improvement on his last trial.
Yeah, you've got to be in to win, haven't you? Race number 5, Miss Cartier. I know talking to you at Te Rapa, you were really worried about the draw that day, but that was absolutely no concern. She absolutely smashed them, didn't she?
Yeah, she did. And look, she got no favours that day either. She got caught 3 wide, worked hard, got to the front a fair way out, and it was a really good win. She's trained on so well since. 1400 is perfect. She's drawn a lot better. McNabb sticks with the ship. I really like the way she's going, and yeah, I like everything about the race and the way she's going, and I thought she was very hard to beat again.
We spoke to you pre-race, but we obviously spoke to you after the race, after she'd won, and I know you've got a pretty high opinion of her moving forward as well.
We really do. I think she's pretty good. I think she's going to go right through the grades, and we do look at her as a black type mare. The horse that ran second to her that day is obviously very smart too. But no, I do feel she's a horse that'll go right through the grades, and this looks like a very suitable race for her to carry on that way.
And then in the Kaimai Stakes, Masetto is your charge. That's race number 8. Back from some strong form races, and this is a heck of a lot easier.
Yeah, it is. And up to the 2000 suits, good barrier draw. Sam Weatherly gets on extremely well with them. Back in the saddle, look, he's going to take a bit of improvement his first go over 2000 this time in, but he's certainly going to be thereabouts as long as he settles in the running. Yeah, the 2000 has great appeal, and at the 58.5, he gets him well, obviously with the mitigator in there.
And what will be the instructions to Sam Weatherly from that reasonable draw?
He'll jump and put himself there. He'll be in the sort of the first 3 or 4. Just as long as he can get him relaxed and happy, he'll be finishing it off. The last thing we want to do is sort of see him over racing and doing too much early.
And then in race number 9, Waimoku Falls, another horse who's just been in a fantastic form of late, Stephen, and made up quite a bit of ground at that latest effort.
Thought it was really nice. She just got a little bit lost. She sort of drew wide that day, ended up getting a little bit further back than what she would have liked. But hit the line good, and again, I think the winner's pretty smart, and we ran it to sort of, I think, about a neck in the end. I've been looking forward to getting this mare up to the 2,000 metres. She's drawn really nicely here. She should get a gun run. And I think the 2,000 metres is a big key. Nice sort of smallish field, good draw. Matt sticks with the ship, and on her work, she's probably been working as good as anything, and she goes into a cherry right.
Stephen, just whilst we're talking about Matamata, who do you feel is your best bet for the program there on Saturday?
Well, I'm pretty excited about a few of our runners. I knew you were going to ask me to sort of bring it down to one. Look, I'm going to go Miss Cartier on top again, but I think it'll be definitely worth following the whole team, as I do think we've got a very nice team of horses.
And then whilst we've got you, Riccarton, you've got a couple in down there as well. Miss Otis Regrets in the 4th and race 8 Summer Festival. How do you assess their chances?
Both nice chances. Summer Festival's just a new addition to the South Island stable. He was running very good races up here. The mile's going to be a bit short. He's obviously got a big weight, drawn out of it. He'll still race very well. And Miss Otis Regrets, she went terrific last time. Finally gets a good barrier draw. Tina sticks with the ship, and look, she's going to jump, put herself there, and should be the best of those two. But Summer Festival would be definitely worth following right through down there.
And then, of course, yesterday, a listed success in the Oaks Prelude that was run at Pukekohe. That was a pretty good effort by Miss Ella, and very encouraging heading towards the Oaks in a month or so's time.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, she's had a few hold-ups. She's been down to the Naki more than all of us in the last while. She's had 2 trips down there for 2 cancellations, but you know, she's such a nice, relaxed filly. She's taken it in her stride, and it was really nice to see her get that black type. She's beautifully bred, and good for those owners. You know, we paid a fair bit of money with Go Racing for her, and nice that they've been rewarded. So, yep, she heads to the Sunline Bars now on a relatively quick backup, but she seems very bright and happy, and then hopefully onto the Oaks. But yeah, she's pretty tidy filly, that's for sure.
Well, Stephen, thanks so much for your time. Great to catch up for this morning, and best of luck on Saturday with what sounds like a very exciting team.
Yeah, thanks, Em. Appreciate it.
Well, now on the form, it's time to catch up with Albert Bosmer, who of course manages Go Racing, and they've enjoyed some wonderful success in recent weeks. Albert, congratulations. Mighty Bill was very, very impressive last week when winning it in Sydney.
Yeah, he was, and it's a nice race to win. It's a race that we won with our first horse we ever had, Silky Boxer, many years ago, and he broke the track record that day. So it was nice to do it again. And this horse is very, very good. He's one of those stayers that can get over ground, but he's got to turn a foot, and that's what wins you the big races. Tommy Berry, he couldn't have been more complimentary about him. He said he sprinted as well as anything that he rode on. He rode some pretty good horses.
It's really impressive, and his win and place weight is just remarkable, isn't it? What's the plan with him now, Albert?
Yeah, so we're sort of having a little bit of a rethink. He's in the Sydney Cup, but the way he's come back, he's gone to another level, and he'll run in the City of Randwick Cup over 2,000 metres next weekend. So a 2-week gap between races, and post that we'll work out what we do. If he's got a rating of 100 now, so if he was to win that impressively, we may even look at the Tancred, which is a weight for age $1.5 billion 2,400 metre race. He's already a stakes winner at that distance, carrying 59 kilos. Otherwise, the other obvious option is to push on to the Sydney Cup. So they're the two options, but we won't make a decision until after his race next week exactly where he heads.
Yeah, very exciting stuff. Let's get to the horses upcoming because there's some pretty nice ones this weekend as well. None more so than Bro, who has been in another horse, Albert, who's been in just fantastic form and really does deserve the chance here at Otaki in the Group 1.
Yeah, he does. He's in the form of his life. He's another Savabeel like Mighty Beale. And he's a full brother to Halo, our Group 1 winner, and it's a great family. The mare has been superb. She's their 4 stakes winners. He last start, he missed the start. He ended up being back last. He was still too good for them. So it's a lot harder this weekend. We realise he's coming up probably 3 or 4 grades, but he carries weight. He's versatile. He can sit in front. He can lead and win. He comes from the back and win. He's hard fit in the mile when he suits him. So he deserves his crack, and he's not in there as a throw at the stumps. He's in there because we think he can be very competitive.
What are going to be the instructions to Jake Lowry? Where you said he's very versatile, but where would you like to be in running ideally there with the big assignment coming up?
Well, I'm looking for some advice from Barrier 7. What do you think we should do? It's a tricky one. I think what we've got to do is, because he's versatile, I think we just have to see how he jumps and what the field is doing, and Jake can make a call on what he does. He doesn't have to have a set pattern. I think I'd be surprised if Mascarpone didn't try and lead and Packing Rockstar didn't go forward. And if those two go forward and we're drawn inside Packing Rockstar, and if we jump well, we might get a drag cross with them. Otherwise, it'll just be about getting cover because he's got a very good turn of foot.
Yeah, he most certainly has. And if we move on to a Tissue, who of course is fresh up after a last run in the Gong, what's been the feedback from the team post those couple of trials and the build up to this fresh outing?
Yeah, very happy. Chris thinks that she's improved from last preparation. He thinks she's now, but both physically she's improved, but also he thinks that she's just a more professional racehorse now. James McDonald rides 1 kilo over, but hey, we're happy to have James on riding 1 kilo over, at 55. It just gave her a very, very quiet trial, which you'll probably see now. On Monday, we weren't going out to win. We were just going around because she races Saturday, just to go poke around and just sort of, give her a little day out to bring her fitness on. And James was wrapped with her. He said she's in excellent form. She feels great. So we couldn't be happy with her going in. The big sticking point is, look, she's got barrier 2, which is great, but the sticking point is the weather. She's certainly best on top of the ground. She failed on a heavy track in the Gong. She didn't handle it. And if it got out to heavy on Saturday, I'd be a bit concerned. If it was a sort of soft 6, I wouldn't be too worried about it. But if it was sort of soft 7 heavy, that may just affect her chances.
Yeah, exactly right. And Albert, of course, they're just a couple of horses this weekend, but I'm sure there's plenty waiting in the wings. One that springs to mind, Logan Street Lion, looks like a really nice progressive type for the team.
Yeah, he's very exciting. For people that haven't seen his races, jump on racing.com and have a look. He's a Tavistock. He's won his last 2. He's had 6 starts for 3 wins. And he's got a very good turn of foot. In his last couple of races, he's looked beaten, looked like he's going to run 4th or 5th, and then he just puts the afterburners on, 100 to go, and just surges through the pack, through the middle of the pack. And he's brave as well. He's not afraid to take tight gaps. So he's a horse that is going to go through the grades, I think, very rapidly. I think he's a group horse. He runs next Saturday in Melbourne. He runs at Flemington in a benchmark 84. He'll get him with a lightweight, and he'll be awfully hard to beat. He goes to a mile for the first time. All his wins are over 1,400. They've been actually short of his best, so he gets to a mile that'll suit him perfectly.
Oh, great stuff. Looking forward to seeing him step out. Albert, thanks so much for your time. I'm sure you're very busy with the sales and all sorts of things going on at the moment. But best of luck this weekend with Hasbro and also a Tissue.
Thanks so much. Thanks. Much appreciated, Emily. Have a good day. Thanks.
Welcome back into the form, and now it's time to head across the ditch. Expat Kiwi Todd Pollard joins us to give us the insight into the Annabelle Neesham stable. Todd, a very warm welcome. We were talking before this interview, and I understand a bit of a weather bomb around, which will certainly affect track conditions this weekend.
Yeah, it's definitely not ideal here at the moment. It has been lovely up until the last few days, but yeah, I think it'll definitely be in the heavy range come Saturday, and probably even next week as well. It looks like it's hanging around for a while.
If we go through the runners that you've got in on Saturday in two states, obviously Victoria and of course Randwick. Sweet Embrace, the Group 2 for the 2-year-olds. Lady Laguna, she has a last start second beside the name on the 5th of February, and you stretch her out to the 1200 metres for the first time.
Yeah, she's a very exciting filly for us, maybe our best filly, and we've got a couple of good ones too. Really excited to see her go on Saturday. She's won on a wet track before, and certainly the step up to 1200 won't be any concern. But the replay you can see here, she was caught 3 wide and had only had a soft jump out going into this run. So it looked like she was beaten here. You see she hits a bit of a flat spot, but yeah, through the line she almost picks herself up and wins. So come Saturday, it's pretty exciting. There is a couple of nice ones in there with, of course, the good filly Cool and Gatter, but sounds like might be dubious if she runs with the wet track, and then also Extravagant Star. But it would be exciting if all 3 of those fillies run. They're all in the gates next to each other and have similar racing styles. So I think if they do run, it would be a great race come Saturday.
Yeah, it would, and obviously with her being so versatile, it certainly brings you into it. If we move along to the Skyline Stakes now, race number 4, Sweet Ride is the first one that we touch on. What did you make of that run in the Millennium?
Yeah, he gave us a lot of excitement there, actually, when you hit the front at the 200. He's just a bit sharp. He possibly goes to the race at Canberra on Friday, which is the Black Opal Preview, which is 1,000 metres. That's probably going to suit him a lot more. He's just a little speedster. He's very precocious, but I think on Saturday, if he goes Saturday, the quality there might be a little bit better. So he might be better to go Friday.
And then obviously you've also, just having a look at this replay now, obviously of Sweet Ride, but you've got 2 others in the race, and one of those is Noble. Showed a little bit early on, and that's given you the opportunity to give him a freshen up. How's he done during that time?
Yeah, he's done very well. It was probably actually a plan B to accept on Saturday and go there. He has drawn wide, so it probably puts doubt to running him, considering it wasn't actually our first option to be racing come Saturday. So we might wait a week, but he's definitely got talent, that's for sure. He was an expensive yearling. They paid, I think, 2.1 for him, something around that mark. He probably just needs to put it all together.
And on this trial, obviously, you were pretty happy with the trials and how he's progressing along?
Yeah, you can see he's just still a bit of a boy. He just needs to work out what it's doing. So we've put the visor blinkers on him for if he does race on Saturday, and I think that's going to really help him out.
And then also in that race, you've got Man in the Mirror. One start for 1 win, and another one that you managed to get that freshen up into for an autumn campaign. That recent trial was pretty nice too.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's a horse that saves his best for race day. You can see where the side winkers on there. He's just so casual. He's probably one of the quietest colts you can have in the stable. But yeah, hopefully come Saturday he's drawn well, and like I say, he probably doesn't do a whole lot at home to impress us on the training tracks, but you can see here his debut victory, the horse in behind him went on One Who Next Start too, so the form's good, and yeah, I think he's just going to keep getting better with the bit of ringcraft to him.
Obviously, with the 3 in the race, I know you mentioned a couple of those are doubtful, but who would be your best 2-year-old out of those 3 that you've got in the Skyline Stakes?
Out of those 3, I'd probably say Man in the Mirror at this stage. I think Nobel could be the better horse, but with a wide gate, and Nobel may be looking for further as well. So come Saturday, it would definitely be Man in the Mirror of those 3.
And then if we move on to the Chipping Norton Group 1 action, and you've got Top Ranked in race number 7. Haven't seen Top Ranked since the Hunter. That was a first run in Australia, wasn't it? So what's the progression been like since then?
Oh, he's a very exciting horse, this one. I can't wait to see him get back to the races, actually. And he's probably not going to mind the soft track. The barrier is a little bit tricky, but there doesn't look to be a lot of speed in the race. So hopefully he can push forward and get across. But yeah, he galloped with Zaki the other day, and he's going just as good as Zaki, so it's a pretty good benchmark. And yeah, I really, really do like the horse. He's just a big, strong animal. Yeah, so we'll see what he can do down here, but just can't wait for this preparation.
How dialed in is he for a fresh up assignment in the Chipping Norton? Is there lots of improvement, or are you expecting a bold show there on Saturday?
Well, he gallops so well and he pulls up so well at home, and especially even in his trials as well. But I think 1,600 metres on a wet track first up, it is going to be a bit of a test to him. He didn't have long off after his race up at the Hunter. He only had 3 weeks in the paddock, but he just does so well with his breaks that he may need the run on Saturday, but we're hoping to get him to an all-star mile. So I think he's going to be really competitive wherever he goes. But hopefully he needs to secure a berth in the all-star mile. So if he can run top 2 on Saturday, would be over the moon.
Yeah, that would help that all-star. That would help that All-Star Mile campaign, wouldn't it? Let's get to Caulfield, because we've got Moanga in there, and showed how effective he can be with a win fresh over the 1,400 metres last prep, and this looks like a nice race to kick things off.
Yeah, exactly. We're looking forward to the preparation with him. He just seems to get better with age. Obviously, it's going to be a strong field. Tafani, she's going great at the moment, especially 1,400 metres suits, and she should be able to get a soft run in this race as well. Doesn't look a whole lot of speed. And of course, on Thunderstruck, it's quite funny actually. I suppose the top 4 there, at the top of the book, are all Kiwi breeds, aren't they? Which is always good for the New Zealand flag. But yeah, hopefully he can run well. He did win at weight for age 1,400 metres first up last prep, beating Very Elegant, but there was a bit of rain that day, and probably Caulfield might be a little bit firmer. He has run well at Caulfield before from an impossible position, but hopefully come Saturday he can be a little bit closer in a small field, and he's definitely going to run well. He always puts his best foot forward, but probably second up into the George Rider is when we'd definitely be looking to see him hopefully in the winner's circle.
And then, of course, race number 7, the Blue Diamond. You've got a long shot in it, Flashing Steel, but I didn't think that was such a bad form line. That reference through the Canterbury, that obviously stacks up with Best of Bordeaux.
Yeah, exactly, it does. He's come out and run well and won on the weekend again. So I think he just last started against Best of Bordeaux, everything just went wrong. He got smashed out of the barriers, popped back to last, and he just sort of doesn't want to... he doesn't know what being a racehorse is about yet. He sort of comes up the rails, and he's definitely got the ability there. He just needs to put it all together. But the blinkers on Saturday, they're going to help this sort of type of horse a lot. It's going to improve him. We galloped him left-handed with Moanga on Tuesday morning, and yeah, the way he galloped, you'd think he would be up to anything. But obviously, it is a bit of a throw at the stumps, but he deserves his chance. From what he's shown us at home, he's got all the ability, and hopefully the blinkers can bring it out on Saturday.
Yeah, it'd be the right day to do it, wouldn't it? Todd, thanks so much for your time this morning. Great to get your feedback on those horses, and looks like a really big weekend coming your way, so best of luck to you and the team.
Perfect. Thanks very much for that.